Every philosophical school offers a guiding principle, a core concept intended to help you navigate life. But Friedrich Nietzsche offered something far more intense, far more dangerous, and far more transformative. A single, relentless question designed to act as the ultimate metric for your life's value. This question is not a moral puzzle or a logical riddle. It is an immediate, agonizing test of your soul's capacity for affirmation. We spend our lives chasing external goals, seeking validation, and striving for a future state that promises perfection or resolution. We act as if our current actions are temporary, disposable steps toward a better, distant self. We constantly wish we could erase our past mistakes, forget our sufferings, and start over. This constant desire for a better tomorrow is often a subtle denial of the only time that truly exists: now. Nietzsche cuts through this illusion of temporality with a single, devastating thought experiment. It shatters the hope that you can simply outrun your mistakes or that suffering is merely a temporary phase to be endured. It forces you into a confrontation with the fundamental meaninglessness of the universe and places the full, terrifying burden of creating meaning entirely on your shoulders. This question is terrifying because it eliminates the possibility of regret. It demands that you stop living provisionally and start living eternally. If you are serious about self-mastery, if you truly want to live a life so profound, so authentic, and so self-willed that it defies all regret, then you must face this question. It is the ultimate test of the will to power, and the singular key to unlocking unshakable inner freedom. Today, we confront the ultimate question. We will unpack its terror, analyze its demand, and show you how truly living with its weight can change your life forever. Section 1. The question. The terrifying weight of eternal recurrence, the Ni. Question that will change your life forever is called the Eternal Recurrence, or ewige Wiederkunft. Nietzsche called it the greatest weight, a thought so profound that the individual who embraces it will be marked forever. Imagine this and let the sheer, brutal weight of the scenario settle over you. What if some day or night a demon were to steal after you into your loneliest loneliness and say to you, "This life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more, and there will be nothing new in it, but every pain and every joy and every thought and sigh and everything unutterably small or great in your life will have to return to you, all in the same succession and sequence. The eternal hourglass of existence is turned upside down again and again, and you with it, speck of dust." That is the question. The demon presents you with a simple, yet catastrophic choice. Your entire life, every moment of anxiety, every petty action, every magnificent triumph, every betrayal, every instant of suffering will occur infinitely many times in the exact same sequence. There are no edits, no retakes, and no escaping the misery. The good moments will recur, but so too will the moments you wish most desperately to forget. The weight of this question lies entirely in its finality and its absolute demand for affirmation. The destruction of tomorrow's alibi. Modern mind lives by a simple alibi. Tomorrow will be better. We endure a miserable job today because we are saving for a better future. We tolerate an unhealthy relationship because we plan to leave someday. We justify our current smallness because we believe it is a provisional step toward future greatness. The Eternal Recurrence destroys this alibi instantly. It tells you that the life you are living right now is not a disposable draft. It is the final, published version, which you must be willing to endorse for all eternity. If you are living provisionally, delaying your true desires, compromising your core values, or settling for comfortable mediocrity, the thought of eternal recurrence is a crushing, terrifying realization. To willingly relive your current existence, compromises and all, would be hell. The question exposes the degree to which you secretly hate your current life and are reliant on the fantasy of escape. The rejection of meaningless escape Nietzsche. His thought experiment is a direct confrontation with nihilism. When the demon presents the question, it is forcing you to reckon with the ultimate meaninglessness of the universe. There's no final payoff, no moral justification, and no heavenly reward waiting for you at the end. The only meaning that can exist is the meaning you consciously choose to impose upon the arbitrary facts of your existence. If you react to the demon's question with despair, terror, or nausea, you are denying the value of your own being. You are saying, "I am not worth the pain. My life is not worthy of itself." This reaction reveals a failure of the will to power, a life lived in such weakness and regret that you would not even grant it the dignity of recurrence. The affirmation of chaos. Question also demands that you affirm every instance of suffering. In this life, suffering is often justified by the hope that it will lead to something better. But if the suffering must recur eternally, it must be affirmed for its own sake, as an inseparable, necessary ingredient of the joy and power you also experience. This is the supreme moment of amor fati, the love of fate. It is not passive acceptance. It is an active, willed command. The person who says yes to the eternal recurrence is not just tolerating their past. They are willing it into existence again and again, recognizing that every defeat and every sorrow was essential for creating the consciousness they possess right now. The joy of affirmation is so profound that it outweighs the agony of the recurrence. This question, therefore, serves as the ultimate moral test. It is a filter that separates the last man, who would flee in terror from the question, from the potential Übermensch, who would shout, "Yes, I will it again." Section 2. The two responses. Affirmation versus despair. The power of the eternal recurrence is not in its philosophical premise, but in the immediate, visceral response it draws from your soul. When the demon finishes speaking, only two fundamental reactions are possible, and your reaction instantly reveals the spiritual quality of your existence. Response. A. Despair and denial, the way of the last man. The response of despair and denial is the natural reaction of the last man. If you hear the demon's question and fall silent, or if you are overcome by the thought that you would rather die than relive your life, you are choosing the path of weakness and resentment. The resentment of the past. The person who responds with despair is paralyzed by resentment. They cannot affirm their past because they secretly believe they have been wronged by life, by others, or by fate. They carry a heavy burden of unacknowledged mistakes, squandered opportunities, and unresolved grievances. The thought of reliving those past failures eternally is too much to bear because they have never successfully owned their past. They have only tried to escape it. The dependence on escape. Despair reveals a profound dependence on the modern alibi of progress. The last man must believe that every new choice is an opportunity to nullify or edit the past. The recurrence shatters this linear delusion, forcing the despairing soul to recognize that the self they are now is the sum total of every mistake they've ever made. The pain of self-knowledge is overwhelming because they have never achieved a genuine, honest peace with the self they are. The life lived in provisionality. Most importantly, the response of despair shows a life that has been lived provisionally, a life always waiting for the real one to begin. This person settled for comfortable compromises instead of demanding great things of themselves. They traded their deep potential for temporary security. To eternally recur a life defined by spiritual compromise is the ultimate self-imposed damnation. Their quiet no to the question is a testament to the hatred they harbor for the life they have actually chosen to lead. Response. B. Affirmation and creation, the way of the Übermensch. The only response worthy of the free spirit is the overwhelming, thunderous affirmation. This individual not only accepts the possibility of the recurrence but actively wills it, embraces it with a shout of joy. The Übermensch sees the question not as a curse, but as a divine challenge and a validation. The masterful ownership of the past. The individual who says yes has achieved the deepest possible form of self-mastery. They have taken complete, uncompromising ownership of every moment of their existence, the shame, the triumph, the boredom, the terror. They understand that every suffering was a necessary forge, every failure an essential lesson, and every chaos a vital ingredient for the creation of their current powerful self. They have achieved moral liberation from regret. The joy of self-creation. Affirmation is an act of cosmic creation. By willing the recurrence, you are not just accepting fate. You are actively creating the value of your existence. You are declaring that your life is so magnificent, so perfectly formed, and so deeply self-willed that you would not change a single detail. You have achieved a kind of spiritual perfection, not a moral purity, but a complete harmony between your will and the facts of your existence. You are a necessary being. 3. The transformed present. The true power of the affirmation lies in its immediate effect on the present. The individual who is ready to affirm the recurrence can never again live a moment provisionally. Every choice, what they eat, how they speak, the standards they uphold in their work, is made with the weight of eternity. They are living a life where every instant is an end in itself, a definitive and sacred act worthy of endless repetition. Their life becomes a masterpiece of style and will. Your response to the demon's question is the raw, unflinching measure of your current worth. The fearlessness you seek is found only in the self-possession required to shout, "Yes, again!" We have stood at the precipice, confronted with the ultimate philosophical command, the eternal recurrence. We've seen that the question is not an academic exercise. It is a spiritual test that determines whether you are living the life of a coward clinging to hope, or the life of a creator willing to shoulder the weight of eternity. The great truth about the eternal recurrence is that it is a practical question. Whether or not the universe will actually replay your life is irrelevant. The power of the thought lies entirely in its function as the ultimate ethical test for your every waking moment. The question as your new moral compass. From this moment forward, you have a new moral compass, simpler and more severe than any external code. Is this thought, this action, this compromise, or this life choice something I would willingly choose to live an infinite number of times? This question instantly filters out all the petty, weak, and mediocre actions that make up the life of the last man. Would you gossip about your friend, knowing that betrayal will be your eternal action? Would you spend your limited time scrolling mindlessly, knowing that this hour of distraction will be your eternal state? Would you fail to demand excellence of yourself, knowing that this laziness will recur without end? The question demands absolute, uncompromising honesty. It is the ultimate tool for self-overcoming. It forces you to live as if every choice is a permanent, artistic commitment. The path to becoming necessary. The goal is not to live a life free of mistakes. That is impossible and undesirable, as mistakes are necessary for growth. The goal is to live a life where even your mistakes are infused with such courage, effort, and authentic commitment that you would affirm them. You must live with such style and self-possession that you wouldn't want to change a thing, recognizing every event as a necessary prelude to your current magnificent will. You must stop seeking purpose outside of yourself. Your purpose is revealed in your answer to the demon. If your answer is yes, your purpose is validated as worthy of eternity. If your answer is no, your purpose becomes the immediate, relentless, and urgent work of changing your life right now until the answer becomes yes. This is the meaning of true fearlessness. The person who can affirm eternal recurrence has eliminated the fear of regret, the fear of failure, and the fear of the future, because they have achieved total ownership of their past, present, and future. They have made their life an act of willful necessity. Embrace the weight. Let the question burn away everything that is weak and provisional in your life. Do not live a life you would wish to edit. Live a life you would will to repeat. This is the highest challenge of philosophy. This is the ultimate test for your soul. This is the command to create your own sun. your own meaning, and your own eternity. This is the unshakable foundation of the inner citadel. Thank you for joining me on this profound and difficult journey. If you are ready to live a life worthy of the eternal recurrence, please subscribe to The Inner Citadel and join our community of free spirits. Until next time, let your choices be your affirmation.